Hello everybody, I'm back with a scent of the week. It'll be scent of the week number 13, and the last one of these I did was in October of 2022, about 2 months ago. As some of you know, Mrs Fritz was in the hospital, and I took a little break from making these, and she's home now, and she's safe, and she's recovering, so I thought, well, let me go record what I wore this week. And so this week I started out with one from Happyland called Amberland. And the thing, I have a video of most of these except for the last one I'm going to do. And I remember when I did this, I said this should be called Roseland. Rose was the prominent note in this to me. But a lot of other people get the amber out of it. And the amber is, you'll see why, it's on the base. I just have the notes here. That's all I have when I do these. And basically this has labdamen, grapefruit on top. And then it has rose and pink pepper. And then it has amber and vanilla. And amber as a note, sometimes when they say amber, they can put other notes in there to make the amber. And from what I understand, sometimes amber as a note is made from vanilla, benzoin, and some other note. And the combination of those three make amber sometimes. And this also has vanilla. And I think that's where he calls it, Amberland, because you get that ambery vanilla smell, sweet smell. But the rose on this is the key. The rose comes out really nice. This gets a 4.5 on Fragnatica, and I really like this. And if you've been following me, I've always said I'm challenged by rose. Whenever I do a scent of the day that has rose in it, I talk about that. And what I mean by that, I'm not challenged by it as much now. Chris from Best Brands Perfume, he talks about the best. He'll say some fragrances, he'll say this is a level 1, a level 2, or a level 3. And he'll explain that. He'll say, if you're just getting into fragrances like I was, it's been 3 years now, you're probably more comfortable with blues, with maybe a barbershop, a vintage, maybe a green. Because that's the stuff that they're just mass produced and they're easy to wear. But when you get into notes like leather or rose or oud, they could be a little more challenging as you're just starting out. So in my other videos, you hear me talking about rose being that note that I was challenged with. But this week when I wore this, the rose didn't challenge me. I really liked it, and so did Mrs Fritz. So that's Amberland by Happyland, and it does have a nice rose smell to it. And so then the next day, I wore Bois De Vetiver by Lagerfeld. And I forgot about this. I thought I was just going to wear a vetiver one. And there's a prominent note of rose in this too that makes it unique. And in this, it's blood orange, pink grapefruit, and mint. That's also a good note in it. And then there's vetiver, rose, and geranium. And then there's ambroxan, musk, and patchouli. But this is a really good one. I got this at the rack store, and this is, you can go back and look at other people's videos. But the key in this is the rose and mint with the vetiver, and it's a really nice smell, and it doesn't challenge me either. And a lot of people like this, and I do too. So that was what I wore, and now I'm like, oh man, I'm wearing rose 2 days in a row. Why don't I just go with a theme? So I thought, well, why don't I try to find something else that has rose in it and has a different name, like that's Amberland, and this is Bois De Vetiver, but they're rose. And so I remembered I had something called Intense Cafe by Montale. And I wanted to see if I got the same reaction that I had the first time I wore this. Because when I first wore this, I didn't like it. And I'm going to say, again, it has too much rose for me. I said this should be called Intense Rose when I first did it. And the rose in this is still challenging. This is too powerful rose for me. They do make another one called Rosetto Intense Cafe that has more coffee. It has coffee twice as a note. But this one, the rose just comes out too much, too powerfully. And I think on the top, what's doing that is it has floral notes on the top too. And I think that combination of floral notes plus the rose, and rose could be a floral note, I guess, is just a little bit too much. So I did wear that. I only wore it 1 day. These other ones I switched and wore 2 days. And then that led me to my last one. And the last one I did was Perry Ellis Oud Safron Rose. And this is the only one that has rose in the name. And this is awesome. I had this in the back there for a year and a half. You'd think, well, if it's awesome, why didn't you wear it? And I just didn't want to open it, actually. I had this in the black vanilla. And for some reason, I just didn't want to open it. I wanted to keep them closed. And I wore the black vanilla last week, so I opened this. And boy, am I glad I opened this, because it really is a nice rose. And I think what's so good about this is it's actually the saffron rose oud combination. And that saffron, it almost has like a leathery smell to it, to me. And when I was trying to think, I was looking like the other ones that this smells like. There's one called a Oud Safron by Montale. I don't have that. And that's what most people say it smells like. But what this smelled like to me, because of that leathery note from the saffron, was Acqua di Parma leather, EDP. And you may say, well, why that? And that has a little bit of rose in it and leather and some citrus. And that's what this wasn't as strong as that leather by Acqua di Parma. It's really soft. But that's what it reminded me of, like a leather rose. This is a really, like I said, it's a really good fragrance. I'm really glad I have it. There's 3 of them. There's a black vanilla, there's a saffron rose, and there's a vetiver royale. So that's what I wore all week. They're the 4 fragrances I wore. And with that, I have like a little announcement. You know, I was saying that this is my notes. I go upstairs before I come down, and I write the notes down. Sometimes I refer to them. And anyway, I hinted on this last week. I'm actually buying a laptop. I'm getting a Mac M1, and I'm going to try to dabble in a little video editing. And not to do anything too fancy, but I'm going to try to do something, you know, make my videos a little, put something there, or do whatever. Actually, a friend of mine, LX Fragrances, he put me down as like a reviewer of this or something, and then he critiqued. He said, you know, but you shouldn't read the notes, you know, look like that and do that. You could put them on the screen or something. So I'm gonna maybe try doing something like that. Not that I'm a reviewer though, so and I'll never be that, and I'll never be the person that says like this or hit this or subscribe or anything like that, because I really don't want to grow a channel. But I do want to, you know, come up here once a week, say what I'm wearing, and talk to my friends in the fragrance community. If people like the videos and they, you know, they see a fragrance they like, then I'll have done something good for people that, you know, like myself. Because that's how I learn. The stuff I have, I had to watch other people on YouTube to even know what was out there and what combinations work and what stuff's worth buying and what's not worth buying and all that. So, you know, to pay it forward a little bit, I am going to try to do something and make it a little more watchable, I guess. So anyway, that's my scent of the week, number 13, and I'll try to do this every week now. And I do thank you all for praying for Miss Fritz and for me. And I just ask that you be kind, help me be kind, and pray for peace. And I'll be back next week. And with that, have a nice day. Bye.